Artificial intelligence is intelligence demonstrated by machine. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. With all the hypes about AIs, there may be an AI standing up here one day, giving the entire speech to you. Whether you like it or not, it might be a monotonous robot, or would you prefer to be a human speaking? That's up to you. If I were an AI, I would say that my topic selection was from the input from our previous member, Andon Carling. From Andon's previous speech behavior, the AI would pick up that he would first give you an idea what some amazing, mind-blowing, and somewhat horrifying facts about AI. The horrifying fact, of course, come from Andon's technique of adding humor to his speech. Schadenfreude. Secondly, I'll share you some example of how AI is already being utilized by humans. And lastly, I'll wrap it up with an interesting simulation study. Let's talk about the statistics to give you a sense of how fast AI has been growing. On the consumer statistics, according to Pega, an American software company, 33% of consumers think they use AI technology, but actually 77% actually use AI-powered service or device. 38% said they believe AI improves customer service, and 61% of the 6,000 people surveyed think AI can make the world a better place. How about on the business side? There are 14 times more active AI startups since 2000. Jobs requiring AI skills have grown by 4.5 times since 2013. And the number of computer science academic papers and studies have soared more than 9 times since 1996. And this is kind of a graph that shows you the computer science published paper with the key term AI. As you can see, that in the last 2 decades, the number have been growing significantly for at a very constant rate. Alert, terrifying statistics. If AI is going to dominate the world one day, it will be female AIs. Why? Because Google now has a female voice, Siri is a female, and Microsoft has a Cortana. It's also a female. Isn't that terrifying? Well, maybe not so terrifying after all, after you listen to these statistics. Studies have shown that males and females both like the sound of female voices a bit better. Caitlin Richardson, a social anthropologist, said that female AI would be less threatening than male AI. And lastly, we have Carl Frederick McDormand, a computer scientist and expert in human-computer interaction, explain because mostly men work on AI, so they probably find the females attractive and want their AI to follow suit. So men, we ask for it. So over the last 2 decades, let's move on to the application part, because over the last 2 decades, airports worldwide have significantly ramped up security in response to emerging threats. Meanwhile, rising passenger expectations have put pressure on major transport hubs to bolster their efficiency, reducing the waiting line, and make the journey from entrance to departure gate as seamless as possible. So AI is the answer. So I'm going to give you an example of how airport security is, they use AI to facilitate the airport security. So some airports are going to plan to implement something called the biometric terminal, which are fingerprinting, facial recognition, and retinal scanners as self-service kiosks, checkpoints, and boarding gates. And in addition, they're going to have machine learning that can recognize items that currently need to scan separately, such as your laptop. So right now, if you go to the security gate, you have to put your laptop on a separate bin. In the future, they're hoping to not have to do that because the AI is going to be able to distinguish dangerous items from non-dangerous items. So you don't have to take off your belt are the key as well. So that is something that they will try to implement. And as many of you heard from Maria's speech a couple of weeks ago, she introduced the Inspire bot, which are bots on the internet that will create, kind of inspiration codes for you. And this is kind of a perfect example of when AI goes wrong. And you see very weird and random dark codes. It did not take me many tries to get these. So here's one. On top of the world, die. Another one, every time you advertise gifts, you also advertise private part. And this is really bad, as you can see, that AI, when it go wrong, you don't want that to happen. And as I said, the last part I'm going to talk about is the simulation study. And I'm going to touch on the topic of autonomous cars. So just give you some idea of what the development, like what projects people have been working on. In 2019, maybe the year of the level 4 autonomous car. So what is level 4 autonomous car? They are basically cars that can operate without humans, but it is limited to certain cities or pre-selected route. So you can just go to the whole wide world, but you can, let's say like in San Francisco, you just stay in San Francisco. But it's all hands off. You do not need to have a human driving at all. So Waymo has been developing by Google for a decade, and then GM is developing a Chevy Bolt which has no steering wheel and pedals. So these are work in progress. And here's what the simulation is about. It's a game-like platform designed by MIT Media Lab with various moral preferences, decision scenarios. Millions of people in 230 countries had logged over 40 million decisions. And this is the ultimate question that this simulation is going to ask. How should self-driving cars prioritize their decision when they have to make an ethical choice? And I'll explain what that means. So here's the first scenario. If you have a car coming and there is a kid and an elderly, who should the car hit? As if they have to hit one person, and what should they do? It's an ethical question. And here's the result that they got. They're looking through all these countries. On the top is, oops, go back one, touch it. On the top is the country that is preferred to save the young, and on the bottom they prefer to save the elder. And what they come up with is countries with more individualistic cultures are more likely to spare the young, which is United States, for example. And Japan and China have greater emphasis on respecting the elderly. So those countries are kind of on the negative side, choose to save the elderly. The next scenario, spare more lives over fewer lives. So if the car is coming on a straight path, they're going to kill 5 people. Shouldn't the car steer to a different route or different lane and just kill 1 person instead of 5? So this question is asking, should you take any action? If you take another action, you save more lives. But is that 1 person going to sacrifice over saving 5 other people when that person shouldn't die in the first place? Again, they found that countries with more individualistic cultures are more likely to spare more lives. So United States, United Kingdom, Canada chose to spare more life and just hit the 1 person on the other lane, whereas China, Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea would prefer to save that 1 person who was not supposed to get killed in the first place by the moral preference. So they ran a lot of these scenarios, and just for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of them, but they go through humans over passenger over pedestrian, women over men, higher social status over lower social status. It is controversial, but ultimately the question is, it is controversial how AI should make these ethical decisions. Should they act differently depending on what country they're in? Should policymakers override the collective public opinions? That is controversial. So in summary, I just want to reemphasize that AI technologies continue to grow at a significant rate. There are many applications that can improve efficiency and enable humans to keep up with higher demand, but if not careful, AI can make terrible mistakes. And lastly, this is gonna go. Lastly, AI could have different ethical consequences on different groups of people that the world still need to figure out. So in the last 2 to 3 minutes, we have a question and discussion. Would anyone have any question or any opinion that you guys want to share about this topic? Yes, Tabitha.
You talk about controversy. Women and man developed AI, so it will have the same controversies that we have now. It's not that AI has its own intelligence. We gave it the intelligence.
Exactly. So we are the one who input all these data in.
So for me, it's not a big thing to have AI controversy. It's a human controversy.
Good point.
I look at it that way.
Yeah. I mean, we are all humans and we are biased, and the AI obviously learn from us. The machine learning is learning from humans, and so they're kind of our clones in some level. Yeah. Yes, Rick.
When conversations about AI come up, there's always this one about self-learning. That in the beginning, we give them the criteria and they build up. And at some point in time, they start to self-learn.
Mm-hmm.
Like the machine that learns to play chess better than its master. What's being done to control that?
I don't think they want to control that, because that's what they want to happen, to advance and be better, unless somebody knows that there's something that's done being controlled. Are you worried? Is that your question is?
No, but there are a number of scenarios we see where the machine, from a science fiction type thing, the machine is in control now. It's taking control, and now it's self-replicating and doing whatever it.
I see. Yeah, I would imagine, I'm not sure because I did not read about this, but from my opinions, I would imagine that there might be like a kind of like a safe proof thing where you can press a button and then something will destruct or something, or self-destruct. So hopefully there might be a safe button that you can just like terminate the action of the AI, maybe a battery switch or something that you can just turn it off easily, a power switch of some sort. Any other questions? Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you very much.